Hello, welcome back to my sewing room. My name is Robyn and today I'm going to show you how I made the Dottie Angel dress. Simplicity 9122. This dress calls for bias binding all around in the pockets and around the entire dress, and I don't like doing bias binding, so I did a method called the Burrito Method that I learned from Jen and today in Jen's sewing room, and I'll put a link to her video where she shows how she does the Burrito Method, but I'm also going to show you how I did it today. Stay tuned and I'll show you how I did it. And stay tuned to the end of the video and I'll show some pictures of the entire dress. And you gotta see the pockets. The pockets are so cute. I love them. And I did them a little bit differently too. You'll see in the video coming up. Okay, this is how I made the pockets for my Dottie Angel dress. I cut out 4 pieces because I'm gonna line my pockets. I cut them out from the pattern and I made the little pleat here by folding this and then bring them in. Like this, fold them, and then you bring them in like that to make the little pleat. You see that? They're folded and folded, then you bring it into that center line, and then you do a little stitch right here to hold that in place. And I made 2 because I'm going to sew these right sides together like this, and then turn them right side out. And now it's lined and it has a cute little pleat, and I don't need to use the band because on the pattern it came with a little band to do at the top, and it's just a single piece of fabric, and I wanted to make mine lined to give it a little bit more durability, and I didn't really see a need for the band. It's just so cute like it is. So now I turned it right side out from the bottom. Now I'm just going to attach it to the front of my dress, and I'm just going to do, when I do the top stitch to add it to my dress, it'll close up the little hole at the bottom where I turned it. So I just wanted to show you how I decided to do my little pockets for my Dottie Angel dress. They're so cute. I love the little pleats. Okay, I just finished sewing around the edges, leaving a space open here at the bottom to be able to turn it right there. And now, before I turn it, I'm going to clip the corners here without going into my stitches. Clip the corners, and then you want to go around, and because these little curves here, you want to clip those so those curves will lay nicely, and just do little clips without going into your stitches. And then do this corner. There, now we're ready to turn it right side out. And then I just use my chopstick to poke out the corners. Then I'll just tuck in, aren't they cute? Where I turned it, and go to my ironing board and iron it, and then it'll be ready to top stitch onto the dress. Okay, and here are the pockets sewn onto the front of the dress. Okay, to get started on my Dottie Angel dress, to do the Burrito Method, I'm going to pin the shoulder seams of the front and back of the dress, and I'm going to sew both shoulder seams of the front and back of the dress. It's kind of hanging off my table because it's bigger than what room I have. And then for the inside of the dress, I just cut a front and back lining piece. The shoulder seams. And I'm going to sew the right shoulder seams. This is the front of the dress. This is the front of the dress with the pockets. And I'm just going to lay it out, and this is the back of the dress, and it's sewn together at the shoulder seams. And now I'm going to take the lining pieces that I made. I already sewed them at the shoulder seams. Let's see. This is the front. Okay, this is the front. And I'm going to sew the front of the lining to the front of the dress, and the back of the lining goes toward the back of the dress. Line up the shoulder seams, and we're going to pin the neckline. Pin it at the neckline, and I'm going to sew the neckline next. So we're just going to go around lining up the shoulder seams. And just pin this all the way around. Okay, I finished stitching the neckline, and I trimmed it and understitched it, and now we're ready to do the burrito method. This is my lining, and this is the dress. You just lay it out like this. This is the inside, the wrong side of the dress where the lining is. And I'm just going to take one side. It doesn't matter which side you start with, and I'm just going to roll it tightly to the other side. Like that, and then we're gonna separate this and bring this side over here and tuck this under like this, so we're bringing the right side to right side. And I'm gonna match up the shoulder seams right here, and I'm gonna pin this. Match the shoulder seams. And then finish pinning that. Pin we're gonna sew to right here where the cap sleeve stops. Now, I learned this burrito method from watching Today in Jen's Sewing Room, and I will put a link to her channel, to that video where she shows how she does this burrito method. And I'm going to go over here and pin this. Just doing the armhole portion. There. Can y'all see that? Okay, we're going to sew this seam with a straight stitch at about a 1/2 inch seam allowance. What we do is fixed stitch. Take out my pins. Do a fixed stitch at the end. Let's head back back over to the cutting table. This is where the cap sleeve stops right here. I'm going to go ahead and pin that evenly. There. Okay, this is where the cap sleeve stops, so I'm going to pin right there. Now we're going to do the other side. Turn it around. The sleeve with the cap portion. So I pinned from the bottom of the cap sleeve here to the bottom of the cap sleeve here, and the rest of this would be like the lining with the rest of the skirt of the dress. But I just did what I had enough fabric to do, and it didn't need to be lined really all the way because it's not see-through. So now this rolled up part, we're going to go to the sewing machine. Okay, let's head to the sewing machine. Okay, we finished sewing this seam. Now we're just going to pull this out from this tube. And look at that, a beautiful seam. We just have to iron it. Turn it this way. Okay, this is the side we already did.
Okay, now we'll close up the side seams.
Gonna match the lining, and now we're gonna do this side lining and the dress. I'm just gonna roll the dress.
Sew the dress side seams and the lining side seams, and you're done.
Roll it tightly. Like this, and we're going to take this side, this top one, and fold it over this way, and fold this one under like this to meet this side. And now we're going to match up the shoulder seams and pin this